Greetings, friends and enemies, and welcome back to Art by Flan. Today, we're actually doing a little bit of fan art. The last couple weeks, I've been dealing with some family stuff, and it's been really hard on me emotionally. And during all this turmoil, the series finale of Adventure Time aired, and it made me sad that I wasn't in a state of mind to enjoy it completely. Because Adventure Time is a series that's very important to me. But we'll go on to that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the piece a little bit. It is Marceline and Bubblegum, who were confirmed girlfriends in the finale, which makes me so freaking happy because I've been shipping them for eons, let's put it that way. But yeah, and if you check my gallery, you can see a lot of the pieces I've done of them. And this is sort of a redraw of something that's lingering in there. I say it's a redraw, it's more of a reimagining, I guess. The general idea is the same, but it's mixing some Adventure Time elements more in with my current style rather than what I was going for at that time. But yeah, I love these two, and I'm so glad they're canon, and so I had to draw them in celebration of that fact and the fact that the series has finally come to a close. I'll admit that I'm not exactly caught up on it all yet. I kind of stopped keeping up with it, as you do. You get busy, you forget about TV shows you love, and you forget to watch them, but rest assured I'm going to go back and catch up completely. But my love affair with Adventure Time started before the show even premiered. That was my cell phone telephone, I'm sorry. Before the show even premiered, I was so excited for Adventure Time's release that I think, let me go check my gallery, I'm pretty sure I have art done in the Adventure Time style because I was excited for the release. Let me double check here. It should be in my DeviantArt gallery. You can see all my Adventure Time stuff in there. Let's see. I don't think it was before then. Anyway, I watched the series pretty much when it premiered, and I had a brief but extensive time in the Adventure Time fandom for a while, and mainly where I participated is, believe it or not, 4chan. Like, I was really big into, on the cartoons and comics board, they had Adventure Time draw threads, where artists and artists would come together, and people would request things, and people would just share their art, all centered on Adventure Time. And it was there that I came across an artist who did a reimagining of Adventure Time, but as a D&D game. So he had a brief comic of all the characters at the time as humans playing this game, and the game was the episodes of Adventure Time, and he called it Candies and Zambies. And I loved it. I thought it was the bee's freaking knees. And I liked the comic, but I ended up just doing redesigns of his characters for fun. And he really liked him, so he continued to use those in his comic, which I thought was pretty cool. And honestly, most of my Adventure Time stuff is the most popular things in my gallery. Like, people still go back and like art from like 2010, and it's like, please don't do that. It's very old and very bad. Another thing that was, and when you've been in the fandom as long as I have, you got to see it grow. So it was really interesting to see the Fiona and Cake episodes, those episodes that if you weren't in the fandom before they premiered, they've just always been there. But it was really interesting, I think, to watch those go from, joke comics into full-fledged episodes and full-fledged characters with plots and stories of their own running alongside the regular, Adventure Time canon, which was really neat, which I don't think that had been done before. I can't recall there ever being a gender bend version officially canonically announced like that. I know that they've done episodes where the characters switch, if they're cisgender, they switch to the opposite cisgender, but I don't think there was ever something like that, and it was just fucking mind-blowing, pardon my language, that this was a thing that they did. It was I don't know if it was the first, but it was definitely some of the first some of the first instances where you got to see the creators of the show interacting with the fans of the show and coming together to create something together. You saw it a lot with My Little Pony, with a lot of the background characters and names and such, but Adventure Time was sort of, or at least in my experience, sort of the first instance of that before it got wicked out of hand, as we all know. But before it got crazy and just working with fans and it just to make something really cool out of a really amazing show. And Adventure Time will always, always, always have a special place in my heart, like forever and always. It was such a good, such a good thing to be in. I remember watching when we first started getting bits of lore and everybody was losing their freaking minds trying to put it all together. Like when we saw the first pan out of the planet and there was that gigantic hole in it and people were just like, what the hell is that? Because prior to that, it was just, a fun fantasy show with, having a good time, kids show, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden there's this deep underlying story that we didn't realize was there at first. And it was really, really something else to watch sort of this thing come together. And it's just great. I love it so much. I could probably prattle on about it forever, but like I said, it's something that's really special to me, and I'm it's that mixture of sad and glad to see it go, because it's been a long time. It's been on the air a long time. Between 8 and 10 years, I think. I don't know. It's been a while. At least 8 years, because I did fan art for it in 2010, so at least 8 years. And it's sort of run its course, it's told its story, and it's time to lay it to rest. Now, I don't have any idea if Cartoon Network will do something else with the franchise, because this series has not only affected fans of the show, but also the industry as a whole. So many artists and writers and storyboard artists who worked on this show went off to do other amazing shows. You've got Rebecca Sugar with Steven Universe, which is another monster hit on Nickelodeon, on Cartoon Network's hands. And then you had the other people who worked on Adventure Time, worked on Clarence, worked on OKKO, worked on what is that one, the new Summer Camp Island coming up? Clarence of the Creek is also another one. Like a lot of the shows they have on air right now can be traced back to Adventure Time, which is so freaking amazing when you actually think about it, because this one show took indie comic artists that people have never heard of, gave them a shot to make something amazing, and they did it. They absolutely killed it. And a lot of the artists prior to this worked on another show that people liked, The Misadventures of Flapjack. So it's this long line of industry people working together, coming together, starting here or there or wherever, and then going off and doing bigger and better things on their own. So it's really interesting to see this juggernaut of a show about a boy and his dog go from, some crazy fever dream episodes or ideas to creating an entire network based off just the people who worked on it. And that's, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling about Adventure Time, but I could probably do that forever. But like I said, I just wanted to honor these two and sort of end of the show and just reminisce on the good times. But we should be shifting into the final piece. If you like what you see, don't forget to click on that like button, subscribe, hit that bell if you wanna. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.